अब आते हैं यहाँ पे आंसर राइटिंग स्किल। तो आंसर राइटिंग के बारे में मैं बताता हूँ। तो बेसिकली जब आप आंसर लिखते हो ना, तो ये पेपर ह्यूमैनिटीज का है। तो मेरे हिसाब से, मतलब मुझको पता नहीं है वो कैसे इवेल्युएट करते हैं यूपीएससी वाले, बट जो मेरे को फील आती है वो ये है कि वो लोग कुछ अपने आप को ऑब्जेक्टिव बनाने के लिए ना कुछ क्राइटेरिया रखते हैं। और जो मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया है वो ये है कि जी 10 मार्क में वो 10 पॉइंट देखने की उम्मीद करते हैं। तो अगर आप 7-8 पॉइंट ही लिख के आ रहे हो या आप 5 पॉइंट लिख के आ रहे हो, तो भले ही आपको कितने ही अच्छे पॉइंट लिख के आ रहे हो, वो आपके पूरे नंबर नहीं दिलवाएंगे। तो ये मैंने जो एक्सपीरियंस किया था कि आपको कैसे लिखना चाहिए। 10 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन 2 पेज मिलता है, फ्रंट और बैक। तो वहां पे 2 ब्लॉक बनने चाहिए। इंट्रो लिखिए, फिर अगले ब्लॉक में 5 पॉइंट लिखिए, अगले पेज में दूसरा ब्लॉक लिखिए, दूसरा एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन उसमें 5 पॉइंट, और एंड में कंक्लूजन और खत्म हो गया। सिमिलर 15 में।
सॉरी,
बोलिए।
इंटरप्ट कर रही हूँ मैं। स्टूडेंट्स बोल रहे हैं अगर आप इसको बाइलिंगुअल कर सकते हैं तो थोड़ा बहुत जैसे।
अच्छा, नहीं मैं इंग्लिश बोल सकता हूँ यहाँ
Okay.
ठीक है। सो पॉइंट इज कि इन 10 मार्क्स क्वेश्चन यू हैव टू राइट 2 blocks and try to write 10 points. So write an intro, then go to first block, write 5 points, then go to second block, write 5 points more, and then conclusion. What is a block? A block is a aspect of the question that is asking. So in 10 marks, usually they try to ask 2 aspects related to the question. And in 15 marks, they ask 3 aspects related to the question. If in 15 they sometimes ask two aspects only, then you can divide your presentation like 7 points each and 2 blocks. Third thing is try to fill all the pages that are given. Believe me, in my opinion, their perception plays a lot of role in what an evaluator finally thinks of your question is. So if an evaluator thinks that you have written so much that if you were given another page, you would have filled it as well, then he would think that you know actually a lot and he will give more marks. So if you leave some pages empty, that gives a bad impression that you don't know, you don't have the content enough to fill 3 pages or 2 pages. Therefore, you don't know the question. So try to fill all the pages. I seen candidates who have actually write in GS paper 4, they give a lot of pages. So they write 50 pages per 50 words per page, but they fill all the pages. So they are writing 200 to 300 words question in 5 pages by taking 50 pages. Usually you can get 75 to 80 words in a page very easily. Fourth point is numbered point. This I think because UPSC tries to be objective, therefore it would have obviously given values to that. For every point you should give so much. For every point you should give so much marks. So I don't know what UPSC does, but in my opinion, to have an objective criteria, there should be a point that the number of points matters, and therefore quality of points is okay, one aspect, but number of points is also very important, and that's why I said ki in 10 marks you should write 10 points, in 15 you should write 15 points. These are minimum points, you can always go up. Write conclusions and intros. This usually all the serious candidates do follow this advice, but sometimes they don't, so that it's a healthy practice to write intro and conclusions. Also, don't think that intros and conclusions are just formalities. Intro is very important because the moment you write a good intro, the examiner knows that you know the question, and he assumes that if in future there is some mistake in quality of a point, then that is a genuine mistake and not a mistake that you don't know it. So good intro will impact his impression throughout your question paper, throughout the answer. And conclusion is actually you should remember that when he's giving you marks, he has the last thing is that is conclusion. So if your conclusion is very impactful, it will it will provide you an edge like 0.25 or 0.5 marks extra just because you have written a very good conclusion. So write good intros and good conclusions. Use the language of the question itself. So use the language of the question itself. I'll show you this by example. So I go to page 19. So here there is a question 16. If you can see my pointer, I'll read the question. why did human development fail to keep pace with economic development in India? So over here, if I were to write 3 blocks, these are 15 marks. So essentially 3 blocks have to be written. So one, I would say human development block. So like in fat commercials होते थे ना, पहले में ऐसा था, अब में ऐसा हो. So human development, I would say write 1947, what is human development and what is human development in 2023. Write another block, 5 points. Write what was economic development in 1947 and what is now 2023, and then write third block, why human development fails to keep pace with economic development. So every block has a subheading. So for first block, I would use human development in India, same wordings of the paper. In second block, I would use economic development in India. And in third block, I would use human development fails to keep pace with economic development in India, colon, and 7 points will be there. So that is how you should use the same wordings that are given in the paper to actually uh, write your answer. So in GS2, you would always feel there is steps recommended, recommend some suggestion, give suggestions, recommend. So don't always say way forward, way forward, way forward. If they say suggest some measures, so write suggested measures. If they say suggest reform, suggested reform. Use that word. That word, when you use it, it gives a feeling to the checker that you have actually completed all the aspects of the question that was asked. So when you use the words, it gives a sense of completion to the examiner. And once examiner gets a sense of completion, he will give you more marks that you have touched all the aspects of the paper. Finally, the last point, read Hindi question if English is tricky. So there was a question of child cutting is going to social media and things like that. So I did not understand word cutting. My English is not that good. So I read Hindi that was given over there. Sometimes this very simple act of reading Hindi gives you more clarity as to what is being asked from you. I don't know whether it is provided in some other language also, but I have always seen Hindi and English. If you are challenging, if English is challenging, read Hindi to get better clarity on what is the question.